Hey, Hal and Sarge. Well, it's a somewhat nice day here on the mountain compound. It's a little cloudy, a little sunny, a little cool, and kind of warm and wet. But I mean, think about what time of year it is. It's in the 50s. Look, I made a video yesterday called War on LEO, Law Enforcement Officers, Military, and White America. Don't get your hopes up. I meant every damn word I said. But someone in the comments asked me, Sarge, or they said, Sarge, good talk, but what do you plan on doing about current events? Here's what I plan on doing. Plan on feeding my dogs. Plan on making sure all the chores are done. Plan on protecting my wife and my home. Now, my wife and I, we go to the city once in a while, to do a little shopping, and we're well armed when we go. But those are my plans for current events. My plan for current events is to not be a current event. You'll have some guys get on here and they'll talk about, we're going to do this, we need to do that, I put no stock in it, folks. None. If they were going to do it, they'd already be doing it. It's been so long this has been going on. If they were going to jump up and run out and do something, they would have already done it. But let's think about something. Let's think about it. You have Black Lives Matter, Antifa, these socialist groups running around burning cities, destroying things, and hurting people. And law enforcement's being told, stand down, let them vent. You see, that's reparation justice is what I will call that. Reparation justice. We're supposed to give them leeway because they are so oppressed. I mean, it's terrible. It's so oppressed. I mean that as a joke. It's bullshit. But to those of you who aren't part of those groups, let me explain something else to you. If you're a Trump supporter, they've already labeled you a white supremacist. Remember, white supremacist Trump supporters. They've already labeled you that. They've put you in the category of a hate group. If you're a military veteran who supported Trump, you're considered a domestic terrorist. They've labeled you as a domestic terrorist. So, you get a bunch of your good old boys gathered up, you hop into your four-wheel drives with your rebel flags, you drive into a city, maybe 50, 60, you might get 100. You might get 100 depending on how many limbs are on the local family tree to show up and go down there and make a scene. Well, they're not going to tell law enforcement to stand down when you do it. They're not going to tell law enforcement, let them vent. Remember, they've already labeled you as a hate group. They've already labeled you as domestic terrorist. Now, when they put these labels on you, it opens all kinds of doors for them when it comes to dealing with you. They won't have the kid gloves on when it comes to handling you. They won't be afraid to use physical force against you. Your hate groups, your domestic terrorists, they have the ability under their laws to use whatever force is necessary to put you down. You're a threat to America. Now, you haven't burnt the first car. You haven't burnt the first building. You haven't beat up the first white person. You haven't assaulted little old ladies in their stores with 2x4s. There's videos out there of that, by the way. You can watch them on YouTube. You've not done any of those things. All you did was show up in numbers, and you showed up armed. They will use force to put you down. Now, I'm not telling you not to do that. You do whatever the hell you want to do. But you need to be aware of the fact that you won't get reparation justice. Not at all. you'll be treated as a domestic terrorist. You will be, how should I put it, responded to as domestic terrorist. You will be stopped because you're a threat to the American government. So if you want to rally up your first cousins, second cousins, your sister wives, and load up and go do some nonsense, that's on you. I'll never ask anyone to do that because I understand what will happen if you do. You will not be given quarter. You will be dealt with force, and they will justify it by saying that you are a terrorist, that you are a hate group, that you are a threat group, that you are endangering the sanctity of democracy. They've already laid the groundwork. Their echo chamber says it every day. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Young Turks, that bunch of shitbirds. Their echo chamber has already got that out there. It's already started. Officials are already using it. So when you decide you want to gather up and pull some shenanigans, just be prepared and understand that they won't tell the police to stand down and let you vent. That won't happen. They will come at you full bore with everything they've got to put down your so-called insurrection, your so-called rebellion. You've waited too long. You see, the way people like Black Lives Matter and Antifa and those people, they were able to organize. They were able to start off early yelling and screaming. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And those man bun wearing fools don't mind being greased once in a while. You're behind the 8 ball, boys. You let the game get ahead of you. And now if you try to do something, they'll take you down. They'll take you down. It'll be kind of a downtown Ruby Ridge kind of thing. So before you get on here talking all that smack, being a keyboard warrior, trying to rise an army, and think about what you're saying. Think about where you're saying it. And know what the results will be. So what am I going to do about current events? Well, like I said, I want to feed my dogs, do my chores, make sure my wife's okay, stay on my property here in my mountain compound, and I'm going to wait for it to come to me. And when it comes to me, I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. So don't set yourselves up for failure. That's all I'm saying. And as always, that's just my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. This Hound Sarge, I'm out.